Sweet. Today we have Ollie. Um, you joined the program, and within the first couple of weeks, you got the results that you wanted. So obviously, I wanted to jump on a call with you. I remember when we started before you signed up, you said that the big thing was, you wanted to add that extra 10 to 20% of quality to your renders that you were struggling to kind of do on your own. And then within the first couple of weeks of the program, you were able to find that. So just wanted to chat with you because you've gotten some awesome results in a very short amount of time about that. And yeah, just wanted to say thanks for having you here today.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's been really, really good. Yeah, from what I was doing previously, which I've been doing 3D for a few years now, but I feel like I've always hit a sort of plateau of it. I kind of just making stuff, but never feel like I've actually ever got any better or that sort of realism. It was always missing. I could never get to it. And I've watched like hundreds of tutorials, and you learn little bits, but not everything you'd need. And then I think I've watched your tutorials over the years, and I've always seen your course. And then I've always swivered if to sign up, and I've watched other people's interview videos, and I've seen the befores and afters. And it's like that's kind of where I need to go. And I was like, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, right, that's it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to sign it up. I'm just going to get on this because otherwise it's going to be like another year is going to have passed, and I'm still going to be in the same spot, and I might have got a little better here and there, but I'd still be like, I don't know if I'm actually really, going in the right direction.
Mm.
And that's kind of what I think I said to you before. Is like that's the thing I've been wanting is someone to actually say, yeah, this is okay, this is good, kind of thing. Whereas I think, and being a freelancer, you don't get that half the time. You're just making work, and then you move on, and you don't actually have like someone giving you an idea that you're actually progressing. So yeah, that's the main thing I've been
I
wanting to
see.
get out of this.
Okay.
Which I have been.
Cool. So, like the big thing for you, you obviously don't want to waste time. You kind of need a bit of guidance. You felt like you're just making stuff. You don't even know if you're really improving. Even though you're watching a lot of free stuff, even my tutorials on YouTube, you just don't really have anyone to really like find out where your blind spots are, give you the guidance and stuff. And that's what made you feel like also with seeing other people's results in the program, make you feel like, hey, I'm going to finally sign up to this thing. Otherwise, another year goes by and that could easily happen. And that's kind of what made you decide to sign up.
Yeah. I think it was one of the guys, I can't remember what the guy's name was, but I remember he'd like it was some whiskey bottle. It was like kind of okay. And then he had the final one. And it was like all this like really beautiful embossing on the glass and stuff. And I was like, fuck, that's where I want to be. That's the kind of stuff I want to be doing. And it was just, I think that was the point where I went, right, that's it. I'm going to definitely get involved with this because that's kind of where I want to move on to.
Well, now you're doing that. So
yeah. I mean, the thing I did a few weeks ago with the bourbon bottle, it still kind of blows my mind a wee bit, like how I got that, how I got there. And it's still, it's been great. Like, I just want to do more of that. I've seen what I can do or how it's achievable. I'm kind of right. What's the next thing?
And before signing up, did you ever look at other courses or programs and stuff like that?
No, not like one-on-ones. No, I mean, I've signed up to other ones in the past, like Grayscales. They've got a ton of stuff on theirs. It's generally just been YouTube, like freebie YouTube videos. That's pretty much how I've picked up all the cinema skills.
So
yeah, sorry.
yeah, so what made you like? What was missing? Because you said you signed up to Grayscale Gorilla. You had YouTube. Like, what do you feel like was missing from all of that?
I think a lot of it is the hands-on. Doing having somebody you can talk to. I mean, don't get me wrong, some of these tutorials are great. I mean, you do learn a lot, but I think there's always a bit where you'll get stuck or you're doing things for a reason or you're just following along, but you don't really know why.
Yeah.
But there's also like an element of the actual design of it. It can only get you so far. It's very good on the technical side of things, but I think it's the art directing side of it as well that I think it's much better with this course where you can have one-on-one. I can show you, and you go, the lighting's not quite right here, or if this and this, and you just don't get that with a YouTube video. They're great for some sort of technicality stuff, but you're just missing that hands-on.
Yeah, I see. Cool. Yeah, a lot of YouTube stuff is like just technically here's where you click, this is what you do to do this, but it's not like the mindsets behind creating projects, the direction, why you're even making the projects in the first place, which I know you mentioned like you get more of the satisfaction from having a purpose behind the projects that you're making. It's actually going to give you a result other than just like producing a render. Which I think goes a long way.
Yeah, there's I don't know, there's a little bit of, it's not as satisfactory during at the end of a tutorial sometimes, and you feel like I can't use this. I can't really. I can put it up on my Instagram and show it off, but it's not really my work. Do you know what I mean? It's somebody else's that I've copied along. It's like paint by numbers type of thing. You know what I mean? It's cool to show off as a technical. I could kind of make this, but I can't really. Yeah.
Interesting. Cool. Sweet. And what's your experience? So, like, obviously, you signed up a couple of weeks ago. What's your experience been like so far going through the program?
It's been great. I mean, I try and find something that we want to make. So like the whiskey bottle, I think we looked at different ones and we're like seeing what something I could be interested in making. And then it's and then we sort of show that 1 week we showed where I got to, and you kind of give me some pointers, and then it kind of gears me up for the rest of the week. I kind of feel like I'm I know what I want to do. Oh God, I've got a cough.
It's okay.
I've got this weird cough. My throat's gone all dry.
Okay.
Oh God. So start that again.
No, go. Continue.
The experience. It's great. Like every week, so you kind of give me a direction of where to go. I kind of feel more like I have a purpose, like a drive. Whereas if you're doing sort of personal projects, you either don't have that pressure to kind of make something and keep going with it, or you just like shelve it and be like, I'll do it another week, or something else comes along and you just get distracted. Whereas this, I kind of feel it's been great that it kind of focused my attention. And I think, right, I've got Monday, I've got to get this up to a point to show you, and I feel driven to do it. Do you know what I mean? It's super helpful. And I've done like all we've done so far. I probably wouldn't have done half of that. Maybe I've done one piece and then that would be me. But that's one to like the third or I'm about to start my fourth, piece now, and I'd never have got that far. Definitely.
Yeah, that's a valuable thing. I think when it comes to like a program like this, is it's not just the technical stuff or like how you do materials, lighting, all that stuff is helpful, but it's more so just the direction. Like, hey, this is what you want a certain result, you want to freelance, you want to build a portfolio. These are the projects you can make. Giving you assignments of projects that you normally wouldn't give yourself. Having someone that you know is going to help you through them helps you set your standards and push them higher than you would have just tried on your own, because you know you have that kind of, it's almost like feeling of comfort, like, hey, if I do get stuck and stuff, I'll be able to work through it. So you try to do things that you wouldn't normally be comfortable with. And also the accountability. If you're jumping on calls every single week, you have to get them done in a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
if you're doing it on your own, it's like, oh, it can take a whole year just not moving along that much. So
Yeah. And I'm terrible. I mean, I must have like a folder of like 100 cinema files where I've started, an idea, and I've just got so far and I've either hit a wall or just got distracted with the new shiny and I'm off to something different. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, almost hundreds. I go through the folder sometimes. I'm like, oh yeah, that. Oh yeah, that. There's so much on stuff I've never finished, and a lot of the stuff I've been doing in my personal time was good. It's nice, but it's never really progressed me any further, and probably never get me work. That's the other thing. It's yeah, it's fun to do as a sort of like an art piece, but not for looking for work or for potential clients or things like that. And then the stuff we've been doing on the course, I've been put up on Instagram, and then I'm actually getting different studios or art directors that I followed have now started messaging me, and asking me about it. So it's already, within the last sort of 3 or 4 weeks, there's been a massive progression, of interest. So it'll go in the right direction.
yeah, that's great. I mean, that's a huge problem. I've done that before. I had my own folder with a lot of projects in. That's a lot of stuff that's on Patreon now. But it's it is quite a big problem. Like people, you're making all these projects, you get inspired. Like one day it's like, oh, I saw this was cool. Let me quickly put it together. But there's none of that end goal in terms of like, this is where it's going to contribute towards. So then as soon as discomfort comes along, or boredom or just distraction, you just kind of stop. The project simmers. You don't really have a purpose for it in the first place. Then the next day, a new thing comes up, update, plug in, cool project you saw on Instagram. You start another one. And often it's not that people, it's not that you don't even have, it's not that people don't know how to make projects or anything like that. It's just a lot of people just wasting time producing, can spend a whole year just producing 100 unfinished projects that go nowhere. And even the projects that you do finish doesn't mean it's even going to get you work in the end anyway, because you're just making a whole load of random shit. So that's like one of the biggest common problems I've noticed. Yeah, you're going to say something?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely that. Like, I'm terrible for like getting distracted by plugins or new software. Like, I started like messing about with Houdini, and then I was like, I was watching this tutorial, and I'm like, why am I doing this? And it's like, this is never going to benefit me one iota. Like, I'm never going to, it's highly unlikely that I'm going to need this.
Yeah.
I was so bad at it, and it's like every couple of months there's something new, isn't there? There's a new thing to play with in cinema, or there's a new something, and you're like, you get so hung up on learning all these different plugins that you're actually that's where then I came to the realization, it's like, actually I just need to learn the core few things of lighting and that kind of stuff, the core things that are going to actually get me work. And then all those other shiny new plugins, maybe one day there might be a project you think, oh cool, I can use what I've learned now and add to it from those other bits. It's too easy, like, to get distracted.
Yeah, that's why we focus so much on the fundamentals and stuff, because even like the fundamentals in terms of your thought process, keeping things simple. Because it's funny what you're mentioning, because that guy, that French dude that signed up recently, he joined is like, oh, I need to learn RealFlow for this client project. I really need this, and his whole thought process was wrong. He thought like he needed these plugins and all this stuff to create all this crazy stuff. But he had I was like, dude, your whole thought process is wrong. If you use RealFlow, this is going to fail, and 100% would have. and just showed him how he could just do everything in Cinema 4D, which was much, much simpler and easier. But people think like, oh, Houdini and RealFlow and plug in this, and their mindsets are thinking on like all these features and stuff like that, and not like the fundamentals of like most people don't even know how to like put a project together properly. They don't know how to lights, do materials correctly, and all that stuff. And they're focusing on all these updates and stuff. So many traps, but it's what companies are trying to do. So
yeah, and I've definitely fallen down the trap of like buying loads of materials and like, oh, I can't make my own materials, and so I just use all these ones from different places. And then I think it was a project I showed you a while back, and we were like, you're like, what is all these like what's all these materials? You can easily make this. It's just this, and this. I'm like, all right, yeah, okay. It's actually much simpler.
Yeah, it's too complicated.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you had like these materials are like so many different nodes coming off from different bits and this and this. I'm like, you're like, oh no, just this and this and this and this. That's it. That's your material. I'm like, okay, cool, right. It's I think you just get so hung up. I think it's like it's like you think it should be way more complicated. You know what I mean? I think your brain naturally wants to overcomplicate something. But this is what you need. This is what you don't get from tutorials. You watch some tutorials and you've got these people doing these crazy things and you think it's all complicated, and you just need somebody to go, actually, if you want to do this, you just need this, and this, and you're there. But
yeah, and the thing is, the complexity stresses you out. You never know. A lot of people that are making these tutorials could just be really stressed all the time. I've definitely spoken to people like that, and I'm like, dude, your projects could be way simpler. I had a guy that actually joined, and he really wanted to learn how to do UV mapping. He actually left because he was upset that I didn't teach it the way he wanted it, because I made UV mapping so simple. And I was like, dude, you don't need to learn this crazy stuff. You can do it much simpler. But I think his mindset was wrong. It was like, if you feel like you need to do so much, and 3D is meant to be complicated, it's meant to be hard and complex. Otherwise, whatever reason. So we make it more complicated than it needs to be. But I'd rather just have it simple and easy to use. Then you can think more about the creative stuff rather than technical problem solving that burns you out. And then you'll have smaller projects, faster projects, easier. You can do more of them. You can get paid more rather than just being a problem solver. So
yeah. I think that's one thing that's definitely put me off going for different projects, or when someone's coming to me with different things and I can do this and this. And there's always I think I've always probably turned things down or downplayed them as much, because I think, I don't know how to achieve that. But like, certainly in the last couple of weeks, I'm a bit more like open to like, I can actually probably, I can do that. And that's, or, I can probably work that out. That's got a better understanding now to where to start from, to simplify it.
That's cool. I mean, that means your confidence is going up as you get better, as you produce projects that you think are really good. Your confidence goes up. You can take more projects. It's good.
Yeah, and I'm definitely sort of more excited to show these last few pieces to people. Like, look what I've done. Definitely. I definitely feel way more confident. It was before, I think, in cinema, I always feels like I was just a bit of a bodge, a bit of a hack of kind of knowing what I'm doing, but not.
Yeah.
But now I kind of feel like maybe I've got this a little bit more sussed.
Cool.
But it's a never-ending thing, isn't it? You're always learning this program. There's always stuff to learn, but I think concentrating on the core elements is what I needed.
So, like, were there any like big moments for you, like big aha moments, or anything that you feel like stands out that made you feel like got you the results that you did?
I think maybe more on the technical side. I think it's when you started showing me setting up mixed materials and things like that, and octating. I think that was a bit like that was the bit where I went, right, cool. And then you showed me like displacement maps, like and how to probably use them properly. I think I've messed with displacement maps in the past, but I've never done it properly. I just had a black and white image, and it was when you were saying, "Oh yeah, you need to make it 50% black for the background and set this up and this," and I was like, right, now it's starting to make way more sense. And instead of like the Photoshop file with the different elements that you need, the alpha, different channels to mask up the different materials within Octane. That was probably a big thing that sort of changed my thinking on how to use it. 100%.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's definitely my bit at the moment where I've just gone, that's where I'm going wrong.
Nice. Cool. So you've produced 2 projects now, which I think look awesome. Feel it looks like your confidence is going up. Clients are becoming more and more interested in your work. Very short amount of time. It's only a couple of weeks now. What do you feel like is next for you?
As in with the projects we're doing, or just
like what do you? In general, or just what do you feel like you want to keep working on or move on to next?
I think next is going to be try and find some projects, like find some clients and do all this for real. Like, yeah, that's kind of where I want to go next. I think update my portfolio and see what brings me.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, you're getting there. You're posting your work. Clients are getting interested. As you do more of these projects, you'll have them on portfolio, and then soon enough, you'll be doing these things for and getting paid for it as well, which is always nice. Yeah, cool. And like, is there anything that you would you could go back and talk to the person that you were before signing up, or if there's anything that you'd share with anyone that was in the position you were before signing up? Is there anything you would say?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What would I say?
If someone was in your position where they were thinking about it, they were on the fence, they weren't so sure.
I'd be like, if you've got the sort of, you really want to push yourself, you know what I mean, and you're on that level and you think I just need to go to the next step. I would definitely sort of be like, this is where you need to go. It is, you know, trying to think what you could say. Yeah, that's not a very good answer.
If you're trying to convince your past self to sign up,
yeah, I'd be like, I would almost be like, look at the examples of previous students and the befores and afters, and you can see the progression they make. Especially, you know, if that's the kind of area you want to sort of move into, so that photorealism, and yeah, I'd just be like, this is the way to go, you know.
Cool.
Yeah,
because there's going to be people in your there's people in your previous position right now. Even your friend, what was his name?
Chris,
yeah. Chris is exactly like you, which is why I loved him. You and Chris are like my ideal kind of clients. He was also in the same position, wanted exactly what you did, and was guaranteed there's a lot of people out there just like you guys.
Yeah, especially if you're sort of freelance, or especially now where a lot of people are working from home, where you're kind of on your own with it, and it can be quite frustrating. You can waste hours at night, like, you know, if you're doing personal projects something at night and you just sat there just twiddling, moving sliders back and forth, and just like you just hit a wall, and like it's frustrating. And that's why the start of this year I was like, right, I'm gonna really try and up my game. That was, and try and find more interesting work and feel more confident in doing it.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, that's the biggest thing. Like you, Chris, a lot of people that join, you just don't want to waste time. Yes, when you join the
Yeah,
program, you're going to need to commit time to actually improving and stuff. But it's better doing that in a few weeks than kind of dabbling around for a few years, you know? So,
yeah,
um,
yeah. And I'm doing this course on top of freelance work, top of
yeah.
other stuff. So it's, but it's been worth it. I'm trying to find the time, and a couple of hours every night
Hmm.
here and there, and it's amazing how quickly you can get results. Like, how good you can get there, but because you now have more of a focused idea
Hmm.
on what to achieve, which is where you lose a lot of your time.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like it doesn't have to take you. It's just that whole thing with making it complicated. It's like it doesn't have to take you forever to get good. You can
Mm-hmm.
get good results very quickly if you want to. Once you get, because you're already starting to get great results. After all of that, if you want to go learn Houdini, by all means, you can go learn it. But don't feel like you need to learn that stuff to get the results that you've already gotten
Mm-hmm.
very quickly. So, yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
cool. Last question. Would you recommend this to anyone else?
Um, I I would recommend it to anybody who's either a true beginner, like just dabbling in, works
Mm-hmm.
in a studio and does a little bit of cinema, wants to progress, um, and to people who even like myself who've been using it for years, who need that extra cool step up. I think it's pretty much for everybody, really. Um,
Cool.
because I've seen people on the course who hardly ever use cinema or any 3D package like Blender and stuff, and then
Yeah.
you know like the last like 6 weeks later, that you're producing some amazing stuff. So
Yeah.
no, I think it's for anybody who really wants to push their skills.
Cool. Sweet. Sweet, man. Well, yeah, just wanted to say thanks for doing this with me and look forward to seeing you and the rest of your results throughout the program. It's been awesome.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's
Cool.
been great.